Nextcloud is a self-hosted open source cloud solution that lets you securely back up your data and share files. It's often referred to as a private Google Drive alternative, but it does so much more like the Google Workspace, but it's private. Along with the standard Google Drive features, you can sync your contacts, calendars, notes, and even your tasks. You can even send messages and start voice and video calls. There are a ton of apps you can install to your Nextcloud server, including community-developed apps. But first, let's set this up using Docker. So if this works for you, please leave a like and subscribe, and let's start the video. Okay, so as I mentioned, we are going to be using Docker for this, so go ahead and install it from docker.com. I'll leave the link in the description and instructions if you need that. All of these commands should work on every operating system, you just need to open a terminal. So I'm going to be doing this on my Raspberry Pi. Now, I'm just in my home folder and I don't have anything yet, but I'm just going to make a Nextcloud folder so I can put all of the configuration here. And then to enter this directory, we do cd nextcloud. Okay, now we're going to make the Docker compose file. Now, on Linux and Mac, you can use nano to edit a file, but you can use whatever you want. Just make sure you name it compose.yml and then place this in any folder. Now that I'm here, go into the description and paste this configuration file. This is a modified configuration file from this article, and let me just go through each part of this configuration file so everything makes sense. So we're going to be running 3 containers. One of them is the actual Nextcloud container. The next one is the database, and Redis for caching. We're going to be exposing this container to our local network with port 80. So if on your server you already have port 80 taken, you can change this to something like 83 or whatever. I'm just going to leave this as 80. And here I've specified a network name, and I've put this under each of the containers so they can communicate with each other. Now here we are defining the volumes, and what a volume is a shared folder between a container and your computer. So on my Raspberry Pi, I'll be storing this HTML folder, and it will be mapped to this folder inside of the container. Everything that you store in Nextcloud will be placed here. The / means it will make this HTML folder in the same folder as the compose file. Now you can move this to wherever you want. If you had like another drive, you could put the location of that drive here, and it will store all of the Nextcloud data in another drive. If you're using Windows, it will be something like this to access your other drive. This is just the D drive, for example. Make sure it's lowercase. You can name this whatever you want as well, but I'll just keep it like this. Now here are the environment variables. This is mostly just the database information. I'll leave a list of all the time zones in the description and you can place yours here. Next we have the database container. It's using the MariaDB image. Now here again, we're placing this volume in the same folder as the compose file, but you can move this wherever you want. Now here is the environment variables for this database, and we're setting all the passwords, and don't change any of this. And I know this looks really unsafe, but it really isn't, because we're not exposing this container to any other device. Since we put it in this Nextcloud network, and we didn't expose any ports to this database, only the Nextcloud container has access to this database. No one's going to be able to hack the database and access the contents, so you don't have to worry about that. And the last container is the Redis container, and we're also setting a volume, and you can move this anywhere you like as well. Anyways, now that I've gone over that, I'm going to save. If you're using nano, it's Control S and then X, but for me, I'm just going to save it with Control S and then Q. And now we can go ahead and start these containers up. Just make sure you're in the same directory as this compose file. Docker compose up -d to run them all in the background. And then if you ever need to start it again, do -- force recreate. But since I'm running this for the first time, I don't need to do that. Now I'm just going to run this, and it's going to create all the containers and that network. And you can see it basically did everything in just 3 seconds. Now if I type ls again, you should see all the folders that it created. These are all the shared folders or the volumes. Now we can head over to our web browser. Now in your web browser, you're going to need to type the hostname or the IP address of your server computer. If the hostname is not working for you, you can always just use the IP address. For me, since I'm on Linux, I'll just do hostname -i. And then it should be the first one here. This is my IPv4 address, but I'm just going to use the hostname. So this is what it would be for me. And then after your IP address or hostname, if you change the port from 80, you would put that over here. But since we're using HTTP, it will default to port 80, so I don't even have to put this at all. I'll just delete this and click enter. Now this is what you'll see for the first time when you open up the Nextcloud page. You'll also probably see a security warning, and don't worry about this for now. If you're just using this on your local network, you don't really have to worry about this. Now after that, just click on install. Since we've set all the database configuration in the Nextcloud container environment variables, it's not going to prompt us for that, but if it does, make sure you select the MySQL database and then put in the database password from the configuration file. It's just db password. I'll just scroll down and install all of these. but I don't think you need to stay on this page for everything to install. So I'm just going to do just that, and I'll just head to the Nextcloud homepage. Now that I'm here, it's going to show me this animation, which it shows with every new user. Now here is the Nextcloud homepage. If I head over to files, I'll see all the default files that come with Nextcloud, but I just tend to delete them all. Now let's go over creating users. Just click up here in the top right and click on accounts. Now let's create another one by clicking on the 3 bars over here and then new account. For the account name, I'll just set this to my name, Madhu. They won't accept a password that is less than 10 characters and is easy to guess. I don't know why they don't directly state this here, but I'm just gonna type in something. Now I'll click on add new account. Let me go log out and try to log into this new account. And now if you want, you can go to the profile over here, click on settings, and then click on the 3 bars and go to security, and then the user can change their password if they want to. Now that we went over creating users, let's talk about how to access your Nextcloud instance securely. So there are 3 main ways I want to talk about for accessing your Nextcloud instance securely, but I recommend the second option though. The first one, which is the easiest, you just need to install Tailscale on all of your devices. I made a video about a week ago about Tailscale. Just download the application, then sign into your account, and then you'll be able to access your Nextcloud instance with HTTP, but it's not unsafe since you're accessing it with a secure connection. All the traffic between your device and the Nextcloud instance will be encrypted. But this leads me to the next option, using a domain with Tailscale. You can make it so that the domain only points to a Tailscale IP address, so that you can have HTTPS and you'll get no warnings on your Nextcloud website, and only people on your Tailscale network can access that Nextcloud instance. This is honestly the best method in my opinion, and I talked a little bit about this at the end of my Tailscale video, but I'll briefly talk about it right now. So I use this tutorial to use my domain locally for my Tailscale network, and you don't have to have a paid domain for this. You can use this with a free service like DuckDNS, that also works fine too. So yeah, in my opinion, that's the best method. You won't see any insecure connection warnings, and you'll have access to some other Nextcloud features that require HTTPS. But if you do need this Nextcloud instance exposed to the public internet, and you don't want to make people download Tailscale, the last option is using Cloudflare Zero Trust. It's a reverse proxy that will expose your Nextcloud instance to the public internet. I am planning on making a Cloudflare Zero Trust tutorial, so keep an eye out for that. But for now, I'll leave a link on how you can set up Cloudflare Zero Trust in the description below. If you are going to expose it publicly, make sure that you have 2-factor authentication enabled on your accounts. You can also make this a requirement for all users. But yeah, those are the ways that you can securely access your Nextcloud instance. But if you're just going to use this Nextcloud instance on your home network and not outside of your home network, you honestly don't need to do any of this, but depending on your use case, you can choose any of these options or not use any of them at all. If you do decide to use a domain with your Nextcloud instance, you're going to need to add that domain to the trusted domains in the Nextcloud configuration file. It will be in wherever you place the volume. For me, I just placed it in the same folder, and it's named HTML. And you'll probably need to use sudo because this file is not owned by your user. And then on Windows, I think you can access it with administrator privileges. So first, I'm going to search for trusted domains. I'm not going to delete this, but rather I'm going to make a new line. And then here is where you would put your domain. And don't put HTTPS or anything before it. We'll do that over here, where it says overwrite.cli.url. We would put https:// and then whatever your domain is. And if you are using a subdomain, make sure to only use that, don't put the root domain. So it would look something like this. You might also need to add this line to your configuration file. I just added this right now. And now if you are using something like Nginx Proxy Manager to manage your domain or any other proxy, you're going to need to make a list of trusted proxies for Nextcloud, or else it just won't let people connect to the website. I'll leave this in the description where you can paste in. Now these 3 lines are basically every single possible local IP address. And I'm doing this because the local IP address of your proxy might change, and this probably isn't the best for security, but it is the most convenient. But after you've added that here, you will be able to use your Nextcloud instance with your domain. You just have to save this, and then restart the Nextcloud container like this. So I ran docker compose up -d, and then -- force recreate, and then I put Nextcloud because that's what I named the Nextcloud container. You don't have to restart the other 2 containers, just Nextcloud, and then your domain should be working. So to use the Contacts and Calendars app on your Nextcloud server, you're going to need to make sure that they are installed and enabled. So if you see them up here, you can see Contacts and Calendars up here. That means they are installed and enabled. But if you don't see that, log into your Nextcloud admin account, click on the profile up here, and then click on apps. And then here, click on the 3 bars, and then you can go over to the featured apps. If you don't see them over here, you could scroll down and then you should be able to see the download and enable button. Now after you're done with that, we're just going to manually import your contacts and calendars. And then on your phone, you can still use the same native contacts and calendar app. We'll just connect Nextcloud to it. So first we're going to export the contacts. If you're not syncing online or you just want to do it from your phone, this is how you can do it on your iPhone or your Android. It will create a VCF file and you'll need to upload that to your Nextcloud instance. So you'll also need to have the Nextcloud app installed and you'll need to sign in too. But if you don't want to do that, you can always just log into your iCloud contacts or your Google contacts on your computer and then export it from here. Here you can click on select all contacts and then click the share button. And then you'll just need to click on export vcard and then it'll create this VCF file. And now even if you're on an iPhone, some of your contacts might be saved to Google Contacts if you have signed into your phone with a Google account as well. So just check there if you see any missing contacts. Now in Google Contacts, to export all of your contacts, you just click on this share button and then click on vcard for Android or iOS. And now it'll create another VCF file. Now to import that, we'll just go to the Contacts app over here and then click on the 3 bars and then Contact Settings and then click on Import Contacts and then you can select that file. Now if you have the file, you would click this, and if you uploaded it to the Nextcloud app from your phone, you just click on Import from Files and then you can select that VCF file that is already on your Nextcloud account. Now for the calendars, if you're using the iCloud calendar, just select which calendar you want to export and then click on this person icon and we'll make it public just for a second so we can download it. It'll create this webcal link. We'll just copy this. Then if we go into a new tab and paste it and then replace this webcal with HTTPS, then you should see this download. It'll download an ICS file. That is what you need to import the calendar into Nextcloud. I'll just make this private again and now click save. For a Google Calendar, just click on the 3 dots on any of them and then click on Settings and Sharing. Now click on Import and Export at the top left over here. And then you can click on Export. It will make a zip file if you have multiple calendars, but you can just extract that and you'll see the multiple ICS files. Then to import that into Nextcloud, you'd go over to the Calendar app, then click on the 3 bars up here, and then under Calendar Settings, you'll see Import Calendar. And this is where you can upload those ICS files. So to use your Nextcloud contacts and calendars on your iPhone, just search Contacts and Settings, and then click on Contacts Accounts, and then here you can add an account. And then if you click on Other, you can select CardDAV for contacts and CalDAV for calendars. So you can do both if you want both your Nextcloud contacts and your calendars. Here, instead of an actual password, you can use your app password, which is much more secure. And you also can't use your actual password if you have 2FA on. It's just best to use an app password anyways. And in your server URL, make sure you include HTTP or HTTPS. And I'll put up what the server URL should look like on screen right now. And make sure to replace the description to something like Nextcloud. On Android, you're going to need to use this app from the F-Droid store. And then when you first open it up, you'll be able to select all the permissions you want to allow the app to have. And then after that, you'll be able to add your account at the bottom right. And then select Nextcloud. It'll then ask you for your Nextcloud URL. And after you enter that in, you can log in and grant access to this app. Then after that, you can leave all the settings as default. And you'll be able to sync your contacts and calendars here. And I personally only leave this contacts category. I don't really use the recently contacted or accounts category. And then you should see your contacts and calendars in whatever app you use. Anyways, that is how you can set up Nextcloud on your own server to back up your data and keep everything private and safe. So if this worked for you, please leave a like and subscribe. And if you ran into any issues, please leave them down in the comments below and I'll try to respond as fast as possible. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.